everyone, I'm Corinne.
And I'm Brandi.
Welcome to A Pot of Tales, the podcast where we read you short stories that we made up and you have to listen to.
Every week we are given the same genre, setting, and challenge item to include. The rest is up to our own interpretation.
Good job.
Thanks.
We did that without our scripts, without our original scripts.
Yeah.
We're starting to sort of memorize it. About time, I think.
Woo-hoo.
Because this is episode 11.
Yes, it is.
We've done 11. Well, technically we've done 12 because of our listener episode, but this is episode 11 officially, and that was listener episode number 1, and it released on Christmas. So if you haven't listened to it yet, it's a lot of fun. We have 3 different stories going on that are when I say different, they're completely different.
Very different.
There's something there for everyone, I think.
Yeah.
Lots of twists and turns, unexpected accents and things.
Yeah, that was fun.
Plot twists. So speaking of Christmas, we had Christmas together, but how was your Christmas?
It was good. It was fun.
It was magical.
Yeah. Grammy came over, or she slept over.
Mm-hmm.
So did Brandon and I.
Mm-hmm.
And we slept in the recliners upstairs, but also fighting for our lives with the dogs, but it was fun.
Yeah.
They were cute.
Yeah, they know it. They use that to get out of trouble.
Yeah.
I just met you guys there, so I got to sleep dog free in my own bed.
Never cuddly though.
Oh,
until
I like
they
it when they do
decided
that.
to do like WrestleMania.
Yeah, oh, love that.
Yeah.
Like at 3 a.m.
Yes,
Yep,
actually
I knew
3
it.
a.m.
Oh, that's the witching hour.
Maybe that's why
The
cats have
demons,
zoomies.
the demons inside of them woke up and they were like, "Let's go! It's time to wrestle."
Do you think that's why cats have zoomies at 3 a.m.?
Maybe. Cats are very sensitive to that kind of stuff, so maybe. Dogs are too, but cats are more.
Dun dun dun.
So, what was your favorite gifts that you got for Christmas?
I ate half of the noodles that you gave me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm almost done.
I forgot I got
Yeah.
you. That literally, I was standing in line at CVS on Christmas Eve because I had to get something for Ryan or whatever. I think it was for Ryan. I forget why I was at CVS. I think it had something to do with like Ryan needed something, and I was like, okay, I'll go and grab it real quick. And then I was in line, and they had those like the food aisle was like right behind me.
Yeah.
And I just happened to turn my head, saw a 6-pack of ramen, like just grabbed it.
It's delicious. I love it.
Oh, good. I'm glad that was your favorite gift out of all the cool things you
Well,
got.
I also really liked my boots that I got.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
me too. I got the
really
same pair,
comfy. Yeah.
but mine are black. Yours are gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Walt.
Yes, thank you, Walt.
I wore them to New Year's Eve. Another segue.
Ooh.
Yeah, New Year's Eve last night, and I got compliments on them. They were drunken compliments, but that's still a good, honest compliment, in my opinion.
Where'd you go?
We went over to Ryan's friend Dean's house. Ryan's 50-something-year-old friend. I think he told me how old he was last night, and I forget. He might be closer to 60 now, but he has the soul of a, 25-year-old.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Forever young.
Yeah. And he had, by the time we showed up, he was like, I'm like 7 Jello shots and 3 drinks in, and we're just like, it's 7 o'clock. We have
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And he's like, well, we have 150 Jello shots we have to get through. I'm like, great.
Was it just like the 4 of you, or was
No.
there more?
No, there were other people. He's a social butterfly, so he had like his family members over, and a couple other friends, and then us. And we weren't the youngest people there. Like he had his like nieces and nephews there and stuff like that,
Oh,
and his
okay.
son.
So like a family party, but you were invited.
Yeah. And
That's
like
cool.
a couple other of his closer friends were invited too. And his son plays guitar now, so they wanted Ryan to bring over his guitar stuff, so that way they could jam in the living room.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but Ryan was like, I don't want to play. Like, you guys can play though. So he set it up for them, and they were playing with it, and I think it's still there. He ended up leaving it there, and we'll go and get it another time because they were playing with it and having fun. We wanted to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you stay until midnight?
Yes, yeah, we did. What'd you do?
Me, Brandon, Michaela, and Alex, we went over to a friend's house and they have a baby.
Oh, baby.
So we got to hang out there and we went to Fireside for dinner.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, and then we went back and played more card games and celebrated.
Mm-hmm. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
And you guys stayed up till midnight?
Yes.
Oh, good. Speaking of babies, my friend Steph just had her baby
Yay!
on the 28th. So,
Oh,
welcome to the world, Maisie. I'm sorry, this is the episode
welcome.
that I get to welcome you on.
Oh yeah, because we weren't here last week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did take last week off. Didn't really feel like it because I had the listener episode up
Yeah. So.
on Monday instead of Friday, so.
So you guys still got an episode, so that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
good.
You're welcome. I definitely needed it. It's like
Yeah.
I hunkered down all of Tuesday. It took 12 hours to finish all my courses, and I did it.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. So I'm now teacher certified for little children.
That's so
Yeah,
exciting.
like preschool age. And they have me in an early preschool class now. So I'm excited.
Forever.
Well, I don't know how forever it is, but like for now, I believe it is permanent.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, I want to work up to pre-K, but I need to get my associate's degree, which they said that they would help me get. So I don't know when that will be. I wouldn't mind taking a short break from because I tend to um, wait till last minute to do these things apparently,
Yeah.
and then I end up spending an entire weekend in front of my computer.
But you get it done.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
good.
Oh, and I got to use my one of my favorite Christmas presents in the process.
Which
That
one?
that giant oversized hoodie thing that mom
Oh, the
got me.
Snuggie?
Yeah, it's like not a snuggie. It's an oversized hoodie with like Sherpa in the inside, and
With
it's like
what?
like you know that fluffy white material.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's called Sherpa. I don't know what it is,
Sherpa. Sherpa.
um, but it goes all the way down to my feet. So I'm literally just wearing a very fluffy blanket, and it's the most amazing thing. And there's pockets and a hood. So I just put myself in that, sat on the couch with my laptop, got to stay warm and cozy.
Good.
Yeah,
Proud of you.
yeah, yeah. So that was one of my favorite gifts I got for Christmas.
I've had like 3 weeks off from work, so that's nice.
Oh, that's a lot of weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I think 3 days is like optimal, but like by the third day, if I get all 3 days to relax, but by the third day I'm going nuts.
Well, I've also tried to keep myself busy by doing housework too.
Oh yeah,
So I finally got to do that.
yeah,
But I wrote everything down on a whiteboard so then it can stare at me while I sit on the couch.
yeah.
That way I can just erase it as I finish.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I have a whiteboard calendar at home that I use to like plan out my pet sitting stuff. So that way like I could see it coming up in the weeks. And then like anything else like I'm supposed to do, or like if I'm gonna go over someone's house, like I'll put it on there so that way I can remember, oh, this is the week.
That's
But
smart. Yeah.
yeah, but I needed something a little bit more involved that wasn't on the whiteboard, so I actually, while I was Christmas shopping, I got myself a bullet journal. So it's
Oh, okay, yeah.
it's just a journal, but it has the dots instead of lines. I just call them bullet journals because it's easier to like do whatever you want in there. And I've like tried to start them before, but then I never like know what I want to do in it, and I give up. And then I have like this half done journal that I never use.
I
So
have so many of those. It's not even funny.
yeah, so I've come up with like a couple different things. I'm actually using it as my stand right now for my microphone. I was gonna show it to you, but now I remembered that it's holding my
Yeah.
microphone. I don't want to do that, but I'll show you later. But I have like a page for like a daily doodle and a daily weather tracker
Oh.
that's color coded. And then what's the other one? There's some other stuff in there too. But then like I wanted to have like habit trackers and like other stuff. Oh, and I saw this cute thing. This is what made me want to do it. I saw this cute thing on either TikTok or Instagram or something. But it was someone that does like bullet journaling, and they did one to track the books that they read, and they drew a bookshelf on a page and then like a bunch of books, and then you fill in the titles of the books.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cute.
And you can like color it in and stuff. And then like the next page, like you can rate it and say like the title and the author, and you can rate the page. Not the page, but you can have like the page number, rate the book, and stuff like that. So like I did that too. But I'm gonna draw the books as I read them because I read like not as consistently as I want to. So I never end up reading 12 books every year. Just
Yeah.
my goal. That's been my goal the past couple of years, and I never meet it. Cause
I believe in you.
thank you. I always get into the mood, and like I find like I have books I want to read really badly, and they're like there's piles of them. And they're all like ones I'm very interested in too, and I like can't wait to get to. And I've been reading a series for a little over a year now that Steph had given me the first book of for one of her bridesmaid gifts. She gave everyone like one of her favorite books that she thought that we would like.
Oh,
Which
I
I was like,
like that. That's cute.
I know. I was like, this is the cutest thing anyone's ever done for me. So
That's
like,
really like
it's very
creative.
yeah, it's creative and it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had never heard of the series, and it was the Throne of Glass series, which is actually a very popular series, and somehow I had never heard of it. But I started reading that, so I've been like trying to get through it. But the book that I'm on, it's the second to last book, but it's from the point of view of one of the characters that's like my least favorite, and I keep being told by everyone he has his like character redemption in this book. Like just read it, and I'm like, okay. His attitude just sucks. I just can't stand him.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
very like toxic masculinity, and I can't stand it. I
Gross.
know I can't stand like the attitude problem, and like he is a good guy. That's the thing that's getting me too. Like he is a good guy, but he's just really annoying.
Yeah.
And I mean, in this one, I kind of understand because he has like a severe injury and he needs to get better, so he's very depressed about it. But yeah, what is it called? Tower, whatever. I don't remember. I've been holding on to the book for months. And I can never remember the title when I'm trying to think of it. Everyone who reads that series knows which book I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Also, if you hear scary sounds,
Oh
I live
yeah,
with other people.
yeah. We're at Brandy's house this
Yeah.
time because Ryan wasn't feeling good, so we wanted to give him his space, and he's fine. He just had a bit of a bellyache today,
Yeah.
and was sleeping a lot. So I came over here. Yeah, so her roommates and husband are home. They're watching A Quiet Place, which was very convenient that they picked that movie to watch
Yeah.
while we're recording. But there are some like scary alien sounds. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if you can hear them or not, but like it's a good movie.
We watched the first one earlier, and
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't ever watched it before.
Really?
No, because I mean, we've watched the first time I ever watched a movie like that was Bird Box,
Oh yeah.
and that one freaked me out a
Yeah,
lot.
that
But
one's like no eyesight though. That one,
yeah,
yeah.
but the suspense, like I like those movies, but my anxiety is way too high half the
It's a
time.
thriller.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you can watch those if we ever get thriller again as a topic.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's too much for me sometimes, so I'm like, oh my god.
No,
And
I
I
love
just
it.
start screaming at the TV. I was like, stop it!
Oh no. Oh no, you gotta be quiet, Brandy. You can't
I
scream at the
know.
TV. You can't do that. You can't do that with a quiet place. You gotta be quiet.
But
Otherwise you'll die.
my way of coping is making jokes about it.
Yeah.
And so the baby that she has
Oh
somehow, like, and not being able to scream, and then they put him in a box
god.
after. So I'm like, oh, it's Box Baby.
Box baby.
Box Baby.
Oh my god.
Also, like, whenever it starts to cry, I'm like, quiet down the Box Baby.
Do you remember Smosh on YouTube? It's like early
Yes.
YouTube
Yeah, yeah,
days.
yeah.
Do you remember that Boxman song? That's
Yes.
what I just
Oh
remembered.
my
They're
gosh.
still on there, by the way. I recently rediscovered them. They're like a bigger production now, and they have like a ton more cast members, and they're pretty funny.
Yeah?
Yeah. For a while, Good Mythical Morning owned them when Anthony left, and then he came back, but they bought Smosh back from them, so now they own it again, I believe.
That was a really good YouTube video channel.
Yeah.
Channel.
Well, now it's even better, I think. Like,
Yeah.
they still do, like, Anthony and Ian still do, like, their own goofy things, but they have a separate channel that have, like, all the other castmates on it. I think they call it the Smosh Pit or something like that. But they have like different segments that they do all the time, like different days of the week or
Oh.
something. And my favorites are Try Not to Laugh, where they sit on a bench, not a bench, a stool, and have a mouthful of water. And then they have a bunch of props to try to make each other laugh.
Oh, I've seen those
Yeah, yeah.
ones. Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's one of my favorites. And then they have these skits that they do that's like a talk show, and it's like supposed to be like a dramatic talk show. And one of the first ones I saw was the Teletubbies reunion, and they're all dressed up as Teletubbies,
I
acting like,
hate that.
oh my, no, this was really funny because they were like talking about like how traumatizing some parts were. And they're like, oh, the Sun Baby was the worst. She was such a like a micromanager and everything. She ruined everything. And like they're just improvising the whole time, and it's so funny. Like that one, they did a High School Musical one, but they end up being like a half an hour long sometimes, and I'm like, that's a little too long.
Yeah.
Some of them get dragged on a little too long, but they're still like funny to see because they're just improvising it. Like they're just given the rules, and they're like, okay, go. Yeah,
I'll have to check it out then.
yeah, it's pretty fun. It's good when you have like some free time and you just want to watch something funny. So, speaking of things that are funny and not funny, like we said earlier, this is episode 11, and I just want to give a quick trigger warning to anybody who has any issues with drug use or anything like that, because addiction is real, and if you get triggered by just hearing people talk about drugs or whatever, it's probably not the episode for you. So
Yeah.
you can skip this one, that's totally fine. You can skip to the end just to hear what we're going to do next week, and we will not be offended by that. So I
Oh,
just
do
want
we
to.
have the coconuts with us?
No, but that's because we have a suggestion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to bring it, but then I remembered we had a suggestion, so
Okay.
we're all good with that. So this week, our genre was action and adventure. The setting was in the jungle, and our challenge was to include cocaine.
Cocaine.
And I could not take this seriously.
No.
All I could think of was Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
I tried not to make mine too similar to that.
Like I didn't, but there's like one part that's like
Yeah,
hilarious.
it's
Like
hard
at
not
least to
to.
me, is hilarious.
Yeah. So, let's hope this is not too much of a dumpster fire.
I believe in you.
Thank you. So I'm going first. Okay, my throat's a little scratchy again this week, sorry. It was better up until like yesterday. I don't know what happened.
I hear Box Baby crying.
This is the second one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so the box baby's growing up.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't she like a toddler or something? Or is it a
No.
boy?
Still Box
Baby.
Baby.
Okay. Alright, back to the story. I haven't started yet.
Sorry.
No, you're good, you're good. Jackie had worked hard all of her life to be a biologist. She knew from a young age that her love for animals would be her life path, and that she would one day discover something new to add to the world of science. Throughout her journey of getting a doctorate in the study of jungle animals, she discovered that she had a keen interest in primates, especially orangutans. So after she graduated, she planned a trip to the Southeast Asian island of Sumatra with a small group of fellow biology graduates who shared her fascination with the orangutans. I should have gone South America because I feel like I'm more familiar with Amazon facts, but for some reason went across the world to rainforests I'm not very familiar with. So there's going to be a lot of not factual things anyways, just because of the story. But
Yeah.
I should have done more research on orangutans before I started writing. That's what a lot of the
It's
red.
all good.
That's what a lot of the red is for on the page, because I didn't do research on orangutans before.
It's all good.
Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. The group consisted of Brittany, Jackie's best friend, Dominic, a classroom rival, yet even she could admit that he would bring a lot to the table for their research, and Carlos, who was Dominic and Jackie's mutual friend to hold them together if needed.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That just reminded me of your friend Steve. Like the third wheel Steve.
My
Do
friends.
do do do. Steve.
I don't think I know that one.
No?
No,
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. And your friend Steve. Steve. Like Steve is the third wheel. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I've been a third wheel a lot in my teenage
Is that
years.
you?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Oh my gosh.
My foot was touching a
No,
box and
that's
I started
fine.
playing with it.
I started panicking a little bit. I was like, is there an animal in here?
Yeah, it's a raccoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I just let it in. The four eager scientists boarded the plane and went over the plans for when they landed. They only had a couple of days to explore, so they had chartered a small plane to drop them off in a specific clearing, and they would be picked up in another clearing 10 miles out at the end of the day. So on their first day, they each had their backpacks filled with enough food and water for the day, first aid kits, small containers and baggies for samples they might find, notebooks, a satellite radio, a map, flashlights, and the clothes on their backs. They were dropped off in the clearing and left to fend for themselves. Deep in the rainforest, the canopy of trees blocked out most of the sunlight, but they still had enough light to see clearly. Dominic took out his map and immediately started leading the group in their 10-mile track, to Jackie's annoyance. This trip was her idea and she felt like she should be in charge, but decided that it wasn't worth fighting with him on petty things when they needed to rely on each other for survival. They walked in silence for the first few hours, the only sounds being from nature, the crunching of dirt and twigs under their boots, and constant slapping at the bugs that surrounded them. I can imagine how many mosquitoes are in a rainforest.
Oh my
Jeez.
gosh.
Or I can't imagine, I should say. Let's take a break here, offered Jackie as they approached a small fallen tree that could act as a bench. We should have some lunch to refuel, and make sure we were still on course. We are on course, asserted Dominic. Well, it can't hurt to double check. Brittany rolled her eyes as she plopped herself down on the trunk. They ate their lunch while Jackie looked over the map. They hadn't seen a single orangutan yet, and it was beginning to frustrate them. It was a little past noon now, and sunset would only be in a few hours. They ate their lunch in a frustrated silence. Just then, they were all distracted by a rustle in the trees above them. They all stopped and looked up, but couldn't see yet what had made the sounds. Branches rustled again, closer this time, and they whipped their heads in that direction. An adolescent orangutan swung down and landed next to Dominic and Carlos. The group gasped in shock and delight as they watched the young primate investigate them curiously. Brittany slowly pulled her phone out of her pocket and started recording the experience. It carelessly moseyed on over to their pile of backpacks and started shuffling through the pile, tossing Carlos and Jackie's bags out of the way. Then, as it sniffed around, it focused in on Dominic's bag and fumbled around with the zipper. I think it wants your granola bars, whispered Carlos to Dominic. You can have one of mine if it gets to them. Dominic nodded in response without taking his gaze off of the orangutan. Jackie thought that it was odd they seemed to have a look of anxiety in his eyes as he watched, and then wondered where the young animal's mother was. She realized that it still looked a bit young to be off on its own. In the next moment, the following sequences took place.
I can already tell this is gonna be awful.
This is where it starts to get a bit unhinged.
Yeah.
The baby orangutan pulled a small bag out of the backpack. Dominic stood up to go after it, but was interrupted by a larger orangutan barreling over to her baby. The baby ran over to Mom with the little bag still in hand, and the two disappeared into the trees. Oh no. Dominic had his hands on his head as he stared at the spot where they disappeared. What was that? Brittany asked in irritation. Carlos was just looking at Dominic in disbelief. What did they take, Dominic? Jackie asked. Where did you even get that? Exclaimed Carlos. I brought it from home. Dominic held his head in his hands. Wait, began Jackie. Brittany finished her thought. Was that Coke? Dominic sighed. Yep. What is the matter with you? Jackie was now yelling. We've been working so hard to get here, planning and saving, getting every sponsor we could get for this trip, and you are so bold as to risk everything we've worked for to bring cocaine. I'm sorry, he mumbled. But how did you even get it here without getting caught? Carlos asked again. You don't want to know, he said.
No.
And he couldn't help but grin when he looked at his friend. Everyone remembered now all of the time Dominic spent in the bathroom when they got to the hotel.
Oh no.
Oh my god, Brittany said in disgust. This is going to screw up all of our research, Jackie exclaimed angrily. They'll probably just lose it somewhere when they get tired of carrying it, Dominic tried to defend himself. You better hope they do. Otherwise, I'm going to kill you. Jackie picked up her backpack, grabbed the map, and stormed off into the trees after the orangutans.
Cocaine orangutans.
Everyone else quickly grabbed their bags and hurried after her. They were able to find the orangutan mother and baby after some time of searching. When they found them, they saw the baby and the mother standing on a large rock. The mother pried the little bag from the baby's hands and took a little sniff at it while she picked at the plastic with her nails. Eventually, the bag ripped and the coke spilled out onto the surface of the rock. The mother orangutan swiped some up with her finger and gave it a lick. No, began Dominic, but Jackie covered his mouth. Wait, she whispered with a sudden curiosity. Let's see what happens. They could see even from where they were standing that her eyes had dilated and started to twitch.
Oh my gosh.
Her baby took this opportunity to grab the remainder of the bag from its mother's hands and eat the contents. Dominic let out a disappointed groan as the baby also started to twitch. That was supposed to last the whole trip, he complained.
Oh my god.
Jackie punched him in the arm. You've ruined everything. She pushed him into a tree, and he looked at her startled. Hey, hey, he said. It just helps me focus. How else do you think I wrote my entire 150-page thesis paper the night before it was due? Jackie, Brittany, and Carlos stared at him in astonishment. You're delusional, Brittany said while shaking her head. You told me that you kicked that habit over a year ago, Carlos added. Dominic shrugged. I picked it back up just before graduation. It gave me confidence to think outside of the box. The orangutan mother and baby had started shuffling around, so they all looked back over at them. Incredibly, the mother orangutan had started tearing down large leaves from the trees and seemed to be sewing them together with vines like a quilt. While she made multiple of these, the baby was busy collecting different fruits and plants and bringing them to the pile it made by the base of the rock. Once the mother was finished with her leaf quilts, she pulled over large flat rocks from the nearby river that certainly seemed like they would have been too heavy for her. Then she took the quilts and gently laid them down on top of the flat surfaces, while the baby seemed to be arranging the different fruits and plants on smaller flat rocks, and the mother then put them around the quilts. Oh my god, began Carlos. Did they just set a table? The mother and baby then looked around and screamed. Another orangutan came out from the trees and sat at the makeshift table, and they babbled in their monkey language for a moment. Then the baby brought over a plate of fruit and placed it in front of the waiting orangutan, who then happily ate the meal in front of him. When he finished, the mother held out her hand in expectance. When the other orangutan swatted her hand away and got up to leave, the mother tackled him to the ground and the two wrestled. Another orangutan came around when it heard the ruckus and was quickly escorted by the baby to one of the tables. The scientists watched in complete shock as they realized that these orangutans had opened a middle of the jungle restaurant. that's, that's a joke from My Favorite Murder. They're always making jokes that people like strung up on cocaine always come up with these huge ideas and whoops. And one of them that they always do is, I'm gonna open a restaurant. But who wants to open a restaurant?
I love that.
So that's the way I was going with that. Kind of using their joke to my advantage. Thanks, My Favorite Murder. Love you. Guys, began Carlos. Do you think that they would serve us? The four looked at each other nervously when the mother had finally succeeded in winning the fight and chasing the other orangutan away. I don't feel safe with that idea, Brittany said. Well, that guy didn't pay for his meal. Maybe if we look through our backpacks, we could find something that would be of value to an orangutan for payment.
More cocaine.
Hesitantly, they rummaged through their bags and produced a mirror, extra socks, and an apple, then slowly walked over to a table to seat themselves. The baby abandoned one of the other orangutans and ran right over. It babbled in hurried sounds, then stopped and stared as if waiting for a response. Carlos took out each item they agreed to give and offered it to the baby, who grabbed them from his hands and examined with his mouth. The apple was a sure winner. So it turned to take the other fruits and twigs from the pile and threw them onto the table. By now the mother had noticed the visitors and come over, picking up the mirror, then screaming in horror. Uh-oh, said Dominic. She's
Me
going
when
to...
I wake up.
Right. Like,
Oh,
who's
no.
that in the mirror? Uh-oh, said Dominic. She's going to start freaking out. We have to go. As he predicted, the mother started having a fit and started smashing the mirror on their rock table. The baby and a few of the other orangutans had come over out of curiosity and started picking up some of the bigger shards of glass from the mirror. The scientists started running away in the direction of their pickup spot, with the armed orangutans close on their heels. They had miles to go still, so they had to muster up every ounce of energy they had not to stop. Unfortunately, Dominic got a cramp and had to stop.
Dominic! You're the first one dead, I know it.
Yeah, this guy sucks. Dom, what are you doing? Let's go. Carlos tried to pull his arm. I can't, he wheezed. You'll have to go on without me. This is all my fault, anyways. Even Jackie couldn't stand the thought of leaving him behind. We'll help you, Dominic. We aren't leaving you here. She went to support his arm that wasn't holding onto his abdomen, but he shoved her off. Listen to me. I'll distract them and buy you all enough time to get to the plane and escape. Then you can write the report of our findings and tell the world of what we saw. It'll be everything you ever dreamed of, Jackie, contributing something new to the world of science. I bet no one has ever seen orangutans on cocaine open their own restaurant and run it without human influence. Jackie's eyes filled with tears and they could hear the orangutans getting closer. There was no time to argue and she knew it. I'll make sure everyone knows your name, she promised. He nodded and said, Go! You'll lose your chance if they get any closer. Jackie, Carlos, and Brittany turned and ran through the trees as fast as their legs could go. They heard Dominic scream in a feral rage as the orangutans caught up to him. But the further they ran into the thick trees, the more muffled he became, and by the time they reached the clearing, he was completely drowned out by the sound of the plane coming to get them.
Oh, jeez. Jeez, Dominic.
The moment they got back, they sent the plane and the authorities back out to search and rescue Dominic, but no one could find him. Jackie, Brittany, and Carlos published their report of their experience in the jungle, and Dominic accidentally providing cocaine to the orangutans, their business venture, then their escape, and how Dominic redeemed himself by saving their lives. The story was instantly worldwide, and people started searching more for Dominic in the sight of the restaurant on their own trips, but most only found the latter. Some claim to have found Dominic living in the jungle as one of the orangutans. The legend of Dominic grew and grew to a jungle king, regardless of the police insisting that if they ever found him, he will be arrested for possession of drugs and smuggling them across the borders, as well as putting endangered species at risk by providing them the drugs. In the end, each scientist got recognition beyond their wildest dreams, some good and some bad. But as Jackie likes to put it, you can't please everyone. The end.
Wow. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
I liked that.
Thank you.
Poor Dominic, though.
He's fine.
I would like to think he's the king of the jungle now.
Yeah. I wanted to keep that one open-ended. You can conclude what you want about him.
He's definitely king.
Okay, Brandi, what have you got for me?
I have Cocaine Jaguar. The air smelled crisp as the rain patted down on the leaves. The raindrops dripped slowly, hitting me in the face every 5 seconds as I slept on the ground under the trees.
Oh, I hate the rain touching me.
Exactly.
Sounds like a nightmare.
It is, and you'll find out. This is day 3 since we've gotten lost in the Amazon rainforest. We decided to go off path to see if we could run into different animals and study the different plants, considering the plants can be medicinal. As you know, it's not advisable to go off by ourselves, but you know us guys, we don't like to listen.
Ha!
I saw the challenge instead and was willing to risk it all. Maybe we will run into many tribes that live there. As you know that there are tribes that actually live in the rainforest, in the Amazon rainforest.
Yep.
There's a lot. But I don't talk about those here.
Probably a good thing.
Yes, no, I don't.
We probably need to do a lot of research for that.
Yeah. I thought about it and then I was like,
No, just give him an honorable mention.
yeah. After a few minutes of the raindrops pelting me in the face, I wake up startled, shaking off any water that was on me. I reach over to tap my friends, Michael and Greg, awake, but they weren't anywhere to be seen.
Oh no.
Panic starts to slowly set in. I think to myself, just keep calm. The people who panic die first. It's true, they do.
Yeah, but if you're the only one there, how are you gonna die first? Just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
So I collect my things and walk in the direction we've been going. I use my machete to cut down the branches in my way. The forest is dense and full of life. The flowers are bright and in full bloom, but the thing is, I have no evidence of footprints from the others. I'm going the wrong way. I start to turn back and retrace my steps, quite literally following my own steps back from where I started. The clouds cover the sun and start to rumble. The air feels humid, and then I hear a crack, and it starts to pour. Ah, great. I duck under a tree for cover. I sit down to see if I can wait out the rain, and then I will continue to find my friends. I rest my head on the tree, then I start to drift off to sleep. I feel an orange fall on my head. Ouch! But I'm starving, so I peeled it and started to eat it. Suddenly, I hear a rustle in the trees behind me. I pull out my machete, getting ready to fight off whatever is over there. My heart pounds at the suspense. Am I going to die? Right as I was about to slash, Greg steps out from the bushes. His face red as a cherry, gasping for breath. He starts to talk. Michael is trapped under... Wait. Take a minute and breathe, Greg. What happened? Asked Devin.
Is Devin the narrator?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're gonna say I ask.
Yeah, and I fix it later.
Okay, that's alright.
Yeah. Greg finally slows down and catches his breath. Michael and I got up early to see if we can find some drinking water and food. We never meant to get off course. He tried to step over a small hole in the ground, but it turns out it was a trap and fell into the large hole. I tried to get him out, but I need help. Okay, show me what way you guys went. We will get him out. I say with a glimmer of hope, but I know it's dangerous. We set out in the direction of Michael. I grab the machete and start to cut down branches and vines. We are a mile in the wrong direction from where we started. As we continue to walk, Greg begins to grow more concerned. I ask him what's the matter, and then I just know, as I look down at the prints probably were not there before.
Oh.
Yeah. What kind of animal do you think it is? Nervously asked Greg. Well, from my research, it's a jaguar. Oh, I pray that the prey was a bird and not Michael, I say as my voice shakes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Jaguars are so scary.
I love them, they're so pretty.
They are pretty, but they're pretty scary.
As we walk, I try to absorb my surroundings. I look to the sky and see if the trees look different. It all looks the same, except I see something hanging from the branches. It looks like a small black duffel bag. I grab it and we keep walking without opening it. How far did you guys get off path? I asked. We're almost there, Greg exclaimed. We finally arrive at the giant hole in the ground. Michael is just sitting there waiting for us, counting the rocks that he found in the dirt. Hey, loser! Looks like you got yourself in a messy situation here. Don't worry, we'll get you out of there. In the meantime, look through this duffel bag and see if there's anything helpful. I throw the duffel bag into the hole with him, and he catches it. Greg and I start collecting long vines and put them together, making a long rope. We do this a few more times to make sure that it's sturdy enough to hold a grown man. Then we hear, "Hey guys, you'll never guess what's in the bag," yells Michael. "What's in the bag?" asks Greg. "Cocaine!" What? I say surprisingly. Maybe we should leave it in there. I'm sure someone is looking for it now. Nah, man, I'm keeping it and selling it when I get home, says Michael.
Good luck getting that past customs.
Yeah, right. Whatever you say, man, chuckles Greg. We finally get the vines ready to go. I tie some of it around me to support while I throw the rest of it down the hole. Michael grabs a hold of it and we start pulling him up. In the middle of us trying to rescue Michael, we hear a
We both picked like some weird animal
Yeah.
names. I'm like orangutan, and you're like jaguar.
We hear a jaguar growling behind us.
Say jaguar.
Jaguar. Jaguar growling behind us. I freeze and he jumps into the hole with Michael and starts tugging at the
Oh God.
I freeze and he jumps into the hole with Michael and starts tugging at the duffel bag of cocaine.
No.
Michael, let the bag go, I scream. The jaguar quickly leaves after getting the duffel bag and disappears into the trees.
Oh no.
Cocaine jaguar, I yell. Great, now we're gonna get arrested for giving a jaguar cocaine, says Greg.
It's gonna be the least of your worries, Greg.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's just get out of here. Maybe no one will know, says Michael as they're hoisting him out of the hole. We finally got him out of the ground and kept walking. We are on day 4 of being lost in the Amazon rainforest. And all we have accomplished is getting stuck in the ground and gave a jaguar a duffel bag of cocaine. But I do wonder who planted the bag there. Was it someone who lives here already? The 3 of us are still going through the branches and vines of the forest. Along the way, we see many different reptiles that inhabit the forest, along with disgusting spiders. Greg even went through a large web and started flailing around and screaming like a little girl. It was hilarious.
Ew. Have you ever done that?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. It's not fun.
The trees were full and vibrant colors were everywhere. The ground was mushy from the on and off rain, and the air smelled fresh, and was slightly humid.
Slightly humid?
Slightly humid.
The rainforest is like 300% humidity.
It was only slightly humid, okay?
But it's a lot more than just slightly. Let me tell you what.
Shh. Listen. The sun rays were beating down, but luckily for us, the overcast of the trees helped shield us from the intense heat. We walked for what seemed like forever, and we finally end up near the river.
You see river dolphins?
Not in this one.
Oh, I've always wanted to see one. They're pink and gray.
They also see river dolphins.
Yay!
They're playing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We see from downstream a tourist boat. We get extremely excited with the thought of finally getting out of here after 4 whole days of getting lost. We start jumping and drawing attention to ourselves. We are dirty and smelly, but we finally get their attention and they pull over. Hello, friends. Looks like you can use our help, says the tour guide. Yes, please. We've been lost for 4 days, exclaims Michael. Ah, yes. We've been looking for you guys, actually. But not for the reason you're thinking.
Uh-oh.
Our eyes widen, wondering what he could possibly say. You gave our jaguar the cocaine we had planted up in the trees. I don't think you realize, but we had hidden cameras surrounding the bag. And the hole you fell in was a trap for anyone who tried to take it.
What?
Yes.
It sounds like a prank, like a really messed up prank.
It's not.
Oh.
You'll see.
Okay.
Now you must be wondering why we didn't just get you right away, huh?
Yeah.
Says the tour guide. Yes, please explain yourself, I say nervously.
Yeah, you explain yourself, not us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't supposed to survive all these days without food and water. I didn't consider you may have food on you. What were you doing trying to explore on your own?
What do you mean you weren't supposed to survive?
They weren't supposed to survive.
Okay. Let's keep reading.
Well, honestly, sir, we just wanted to see what we could find on our own without a guide. I promise there wasn't any other motive except we were just stupid and wanted to see what would happen, I explained. What happens now? Asked Greg. Well, you disrupted a major drug deal that you weren't supposed to see, gave the jaguar the cocaine, And now we have an addicted jaguar on the loose, and we are out millions. So what do you think we're supposed to do with you now? Says the guide. Let us go, we'll never return here ever again, and this will be our little secret. Michael says urgently, hoping that was an acceptable answer. Let me think. Absolutely not. You're all coming with me, says the guide. Panic set in for all of us. I look around the boat and see if there was a way to get out safely. Instead, Greg just attacks the tour guide and put him in a headlock. Guys, run!
Wait, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Was this a sting operation or was the guy actually dealing drugs? The tour guide.
Oh, he was dealing drugs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, this is a sting operation. I like made that up in my head and I was like, wait, this makes no sense.
No, he was
my narrative that I made up.
he was dealing drugs.
So I was thinking if I was conducting a sting operation like that, why would you use real cocaine? Just like put a bunch of salt or sugar in the bag.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, that's what I would do. I'd trick them and then bust them.
And busted him.
Yeah. Sorry, continue. Oh, this is clear. This is an actual drug deal and not
Yeah.
a cop, because I thought it was a cop at first, but you clearly said tour guide and I just wasn't listening to that part.
Michael and I jump into the water and swim for our lives. I look back and Greg is still holding him off, and they're fighting now. We keep swimming with the current to get us further down. I swallowed a bunch of water and started choking.
Ew.
Yeah. I lost my groove and started drowning. Michael picks me up and carries me with him, keeping my head above the water. There's still no sign of Greg. I hope he's okay and got away. Next thing I know, I'm in the hospital. I am startled awake by the rummaging of the nurses and doctors trying to keep me alive. I take a deep breath and hear, "We got a pulse!" I slowly open up my eyes and hear a woman says, "Welcome back, Devin. We almost lost you there. You're okay now. You're safe." I squeak out the words, "Michael, Greg?" She says, "Michael is okay. He's in the other room being checked out by the other doctors. And as far as Greg, I'm so sorry, but he didn't make it.
Oh, Greg.
From the looks of it, he saved everyone's life."
We both have a martyr.
Yep. He had fought off the man trying to hurt you guys. The man had actually gotten arrested for assault and is a ringleader for the biggest drug bust of all time. I couldn't process any of this. Greg, he's dead, and it's my fault. 1 week later. TV news. 3 men lost but found in the Amazon forest. 2 survivors and 1 dead. And 1 jaguar addicted to cocaine after finding $1 million worth of contraband in a black duffel bag. The tour guide was found to be the drug ringleader and was arrested on the spot. More details to follow. The end.
Oh, I thought there was going to be more details.
No. Nope.
That was good.
Greg died.
Oh, rest in peace, Greg.
Rip.
Rip. He's probably ripped to shreds by the jaguar.
Jaguar. Is that not how you spell it?
No, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just fun to mispronounce it that way.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
Jaguar.
Yeah, it's because of the car. Like only rich people back in the day wanted them.
That's true.
Like me and my jaguar.
Jaguar.
I hate that.
So what's next week? What are we doing?
Let me look at my phone real quick so I have it written down.
So we got a submission.
What?
We got a submission.
Oh, submission. I thought you said we got us a mission, and I was like, I guess.
No.
I guess that's what you can call the story, is a mission.
We got a submission.
Yep. So our mother.
Hello, mother.
Yes, mother. She has a very specific request that is very niche to her interests, and also mine because I also like this. But you'll... Wow, excuse me. But you'll like it too. So, for next week, for episode 12, our genre will be a zombie apocalypse.
Ooh.
The setting, this is going to be the fun part.
Yeah.
It's going to be an 1800s Wild West.
Okay.
And our challenge is to include a music box.
Okay.
Yeah, these are very. When she said it, I was like, I'm not surprised, because that woman loves The Walking Dead so much and other period pieces.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna have to do some research.
yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So like, you can just kind of like picture like cowboys in a zombie apocalypse, basically, like feral cowboys.
Can the horses be zombies too?
They can be whatever you want. The zombies can be whatever you want. They could be from the future. They could be cowboy zombies. They could be cowgirl zombies. They could be horse zombies.
We'll see.
That's a good one. Well, don't spoil it for us.
I'm not.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to writing that one. That will be a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
I haven't watched The Walking Dead in quite a while, but they kind of lost me after a while. Because there's just so many seasons, and too many of the original characters were dead, and I was like, well, this isn't fun anymore.
I hate when shows do that. They kill off like all the original characters.
Yeah, it went too long. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Like, once Rick was kicked off, or he wasn't kicked off, he left. Once Rick left the show, that's when I tried to watch a couple seasons after that with the new people, especially because one of those new people was in Fantastic Beasts, and I love that movie, and I just couldn't do it. It just felt like everyone was pretending now.
Yeah.
Like everyone was pretending that they were in a zombie apocalypse and just dealing with it while also like coming up with their own everyday life. And then his Rick's daughter grew up and she was annoying me for some reason. But yeah, so they lost me about around there. I'll go back and rewatch it at some point from the beginning. Maybe if I watched it all from the beginning all the way through, because the show has ended. They have like spin-offs now.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are the spin-offs?
I know one of them is Maggie and Negan, because Maggie left for a while too, and I liked her. But she wasn't dead. She was just in a different town. Don't blame her. But yeah. So yeah, next week.
Oh, yeah, so-
Next week, our writing prompts, our stories will be, zombie apocalypse in the 1800s Wild West, and we have to include a music box.
Alright. That sounds good.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
Yes, and if you have a topic idea that you would love us to do, you would like to hear us write weird stories on, you can send them in to apodofTales@gmail.com. You can also send in your own short stories that you have written, whether using one of our prompts from our past episodes or a completely original idea. It could be whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can send those in to apodofTales@gmail.com.
For our listeners episode.
Yeah, for our listeners episode. Our next one will be February 1st. And if you haven't listened to the one that we released on Christmas yet, you should, because it was fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you can find us on YouTube and Spotify at A Pot of Tales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your family.
Tell your grandma. Tell your grandpa.
Tell your mailman.
Tell your hairdresser.
The grocery store
Workers.
manager.
Oh, that
I
too.
don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell everyone. Tell your brothers. Tell your sisters. Tell everyone you know. That would be nice. Please.
And thank you.
And thank you. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, goodbye.
Bye-bye.